Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 150 of the Fab and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I am a business strategist, a speaker, an incoming author. I am a coach. And I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habit. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this 150th episode of the Booster Shot Show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. And so, if you can see and hear me live on my social platforms on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, come into the chat, come and say hello. Let me know how you are doing today. I will also check myself. Sometimes the tech texts, so I can't actually see that there are any particular messages in the spaces. So I will definitely take the opportunity to check the tech and ensure that we are rocking and rolling today. Hello, fabulous, incredible Jackie Raymond. Thank you so much for letting me know that we are live over on YouTube. Hello, Sharon Hurley Hall. And the system is telling me it is you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hi, Georgiana over on LinkedIn. It is so good to see you, fabulous lady. Thank you so much for giving me such a beautiful opportunity this morning to spend time with you and your fellow colleagues. It was such a joy to be able to share insights with you today. So I'm just going to go and check Facebook, and then we are going to rock and roll because we will be talking about elevating our cash flow questions, asking better cash flow questions. That is what we are talking about today. But before we do, as is customary on this Fit Off Booster Shot show, please jump into the chat. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? How's it going? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Yinka, to be honest, it's tough and things could not be any worse. 10 is Yinka. Things are fabulous and I could not be any better. Let me know how you're doing today. Honestly, ladies and gents, I am coming in on a 10. I'm not going to lie to you. I am all the vibe. I'm going to share a little bit more about why that is in just a moment. But while you are giving me your scores on the doors and you are tagging a friend, an incredible man or woman, or indeed child in business, who you know create powerful insight and opportunity in their business, and they're definitely going to want to hear about how to get to better cash flow results, then please tag them in at this time. Let them come and join us live, or give them the opportunity to watch on Team Replay. So I'm a 10, ladies and gents. Thank you for sharing your scores. Sharon at a strong 7. Thank you. Jackie, I celebrate you. Thank you. 8, despite everything. I know you're navigating so many things right now. We send you love to you and your family. Thank you for joining us so faithfully, probably throughout 150 of these 150 episodes. So I really, really thank you for that. Georgiana, thank you for sharing your score as well. It is my hope and my intention to ensure that you leave this space over the next 25 or so minutes with a higher score than the one you came in with. So we have a few different orders of proceeding today, but the first thing I want to say, and I make no apologies for this level of silliness, is woohoo! I am so excited to welcome you. This is the 150th episode of the Booster Shot Show. So we have faithfully been broadcasting, live streaming every week for the last 150 weeks. And for those of you who are excellent at maths, you know full well that in 6 weeks' time, that means that we have been going for 3 straight years. 3 years. 3 years of tiny little booster shot shows to help men and women in business create more wealth, get more cash, see their own magic, own their magnificence. And honestly, I could not be prouder. That is part of the reason why I am coming in on a 10. I'm coming in on a 10 today. The reason I'm coming in and I'm so excited to be celebrating this 150th episode is because it remains true, ladies and gents. For those of you who are not in my spaces, I want you to know that I am somebody who doesn't really enjoy being on video. It is not really my favorite thing to do. It is quite the opposite of my favorite thing to do. My preferred medium is writing. And so I did a live stream about 3 and a bit years ago and discovered that it was very helpful when I got the opportunity to explain things verbally. And so I set the commitment that each week, at least once, I would come into the spaces, I would share insight with my audience on social platforms for free. And initially, I was like, okay, let me get to 10 and see how it goes. And we are now at 150. And I really just want to take a moment to celebrate that. I want to celebrate all the people, all the people who have watched any episode, let alone pretty much every episode. Ladies and gents, I want to thank Jackie Raymond. Like, she did not know I was about to say this, but I just want you to know how incredibly supportive and amazing Jackie Raymond is. She, as I said, she probably hasn't missed more than 5 Booster Shot shows in the last 3 years. She always helps me check the tech. She always tags a friend. She always asks a question. She always drops a comment in the chat. And I just want to thank you, Jackie. I don't want to burst into tears, although you know I might, because you know what I'm like. But I just want to say how thankful I am for you, how grateful I am to have an incredible person like you cheering for me in my corner, doing the things and really helping me through this journey. Your support, you were there at the first Booster Shot show, and your support has just been so invaluable. So I know that you are traveling, so I haven't sent it, but there's a little something coming your way. So I want to thank you, Jackie. I want to thank you, Sharon, Georgiana. I can see that you are all watching me live right now, and I appreciate you. I really do. I don't take it for granted at all. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you've decided to be on here, right here with me now. And so I really want to thank you for that. And I am committing to really help you with some better cash flow questions in the days ahead. But yeah, ladies and gents, the reason why I really just wanted to take a moment to celebrate is because we are so quick to do the thing, to get the thing, and then to move on to the next thing. To not look at how far we've come, to not look at just how much we are changing, just how much it's working. Because we are working towards the goal, we forget about all the progress we're making along the way. And so it is so important that we take the opportunity whenever it arises to just take a moment and smell the flowers. Yes, flowers to Jackie Raymond. Yes, flowers to Jackie Raymond, but flowers to each and every one of you. Sharon Hurley Hall, you know I have mad love for you, and thank you for all of your support in all of the spaces, including this. Ladies and gents, life is the one that we get. This is our one wild and precious life. And I really want to invite you to be the head counsel of your own cheer squad. Please make it a habit, a skill, a devotion, an obsession to truly celebrate yourself every opportunity that arises. I'm feeling on cloud 9 because I just had the opportunity to spend time with, I think, 18 incredible students who are all part of an entrepreneurial program. I got to share a bit about my work and the work that I do and focus on pricing and cash flow. And honestly, truth be told, and those who know me well enough to know it's true, had a bit of a cry afterwards. I feel so lucky and blessed to be able to do what I do. Now, that hasn't happened by accident. That's happened by taking hard choices. I've taken hard choices so that I can create the space that I need to create the outcomes that I want. Hey, Mark, it is so lovely to see you. It's been a minute. It's so good to have you in the room. Shout out to my good mate, Mark. We have to, ladies and gents, celebrate our achievements every step of the way, or we will lose the love and the benefits that we get from the journey. And no matter wherever we're going, the journey is often a lot longer than the destination. And so, if we are to insert more joy, more courage, more ability to back ourselves and to create even more incredible things in the day ahead, in the days ahead, that's going to come from taking every opportunity we have to celebrate while we can. So, yes, I am absolutely celebrating the 150th episode. And in this episode, I have promised to share the insights around asking better cash flow questions. Now, the reason why I am sharing this and I'm focused on this topic today is because the quality of the answers that you will get will only ever be as good as the questions you ask. You cannot have an answer that exceeds the quality of the question. So if you ask what can only be described, and for the purposes of the questions, if you ask a poor question, or you ask an unhelpful or unproductive question, you can be very sure that you will get an unproductive or unhelpful answer. Now, let me give you an example. Our brains are so incredibly helpful. And if I ask you a question now, your brain will sleep to an answer before you necessarily have the opportunity to think about it consciously or not. So if I said to you, oh no, I didn't want to ask that question, but yeah. So if I asked you the question, do you prefer green or blue t-shirts? Now, maybe in your mind's eye, you can see a green t-shirt, you can see a blue t-shirt, but your brain has already decided. And so the reason I want to raise that as an example, mine is blue, by the way, but the reason I raise that as an example is because your brain will answer before you have the chance to tell it not to. This is the reason why questions like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so filling negative words, stupid, slow? This is why these questions are so unhelpful. Why? Because your brain wants to help you and will answer. Now, I'm not saying that you should do this, but even in order for me to verbalize that to you, I had to have the thought in my mind, I'm going to say the words, what's wrong with me? Even while I'm talking to you, my brain is coming up with what's wrong with me. Now, I want you to know that our thoughts are suggestions. We don't have to accept them. So all of these thoughts are coming out of my mind. But can you see how powerful our minds are when it comes to questions? Our brains are designed for answers. So the questions we ask have such power. Drop in the chat for me and just let me know that you are understanding what I'm saying and you're picking up what I'm putting down. If you ask yourself what's wrong with you, your brain will find you answers. If you ask yourself what's right with you, why are you so amazing, your brain will find you answers. And isn't it so fascinating that we rarely ever ask the second category of questions and we so often ask the first? We use our most powerful tool that we have available and we start using it to tear strips out of our confidence, out of our self-esteem. And the thing is, your brain is mechanical. It is not meaning any harm. It is simply serving in line with what you are asking it to do. Ladies and gents, let me know. Thank you so much, Sharon. You said heard and received. So the questions you ask are important. Please don't ask yourself, what's wrong with you? Please don't ask that question. It does not help, especially when you're feeling down about things. It's just not a helpful question. But you can be sure that your brain doesn't ask, why are you asking the question? Your brain leaps to serve you with answers. And so this is where we have to use our conscious mind to elevate what we're asking. What's right with me is a better question. Why am I so awesome is a better question. But when it comes to cash flow, I have had many people ask me many cash flow questions. And I've often spent a lot of time helping people to not only to answer the question, but actually to explain why this is not a helpful thing to ask. So one of the things I'm often asked or comes into my world, for example, one of the most repetitious questions that I am asked is something to the effect of, how can I sell more? How can I make more cash flow? Or how can I sell more without selling? How can I sell without selling? Let me know if this is a question that has potentially crossed your mind, or it's something you'd like to know more about, or something that you have been concerned about. How do I sell without selling? How do I, get out there and make my offers without being salesy? That's another word that comes up quite a lot. And I just want to know, I want you to know that this first question doesn't help you. And the reason it doesn't help you is because it creates cognitive dissonance in your mind. The only reason you would try to sell without selling is if you deep down have some inherent belief about selling being a problem or something you don't want to do with your full chest. Oh, how do I sell without? And you know what that gives? That gives manipulative vibes. That gives sneaky vibes. We are not manipulative and we're not sneaky. And so the reason why that question doesn't help you is because if you know yourself to be an honest person, then what you are trying to do is out of alignment with who you know yourself to be. And the fact is that you are not going to want to do things that is out of alignment with who you know yourself to be. If you're not a sneaky person, you are not going to want to know how to do sneaky things in any meaningful way. And so I love what Sharon has shared here. She said, it's a question I would have asked in the past, but thanks to you, I feel differently about sales. I'm so glad to hear that, because that's the thing. That's not the question we want to ask. The question we want to ask is, how can I serve better when I sell? Now, the reason why that is a better question is because if you see yourself as someone who seeks to serve and who seeks to make cash, then it brings them in alignment. They walk hand in hand. It is a beautiful marriage of sales and service, of cash and care. And it works in a way that enables you to be able to do both really excitedly and really powerfully. And so the opportunity to move away from the thinking of selling without selling is to really think about, how can I serve better? How can I serve more whilst selling? That is an elevated question that will get you far better answers on both the sales and the service. Someone drop in the chat for me and let me know. Thank you very much, Sharon. I can see that you've done that on YouTube. If you are over on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop that question in the chat for me. How can I serve better while selling? When I sell, doesn't that feel better? And I often ask that question and people are like, feel? What's feel? And I just want to remind you that before money is ever financial, it is energetic. And there is a feeling and an energy about it. And I know that sell without selling, especially as you're using exactly the same words, selling without selling is like trying to drive without driving. It's like trying to sing without singing. It's like trying to eat without eating. You can see that it is a forward and backward, a start and stop energy to the question. And so this elevation gives you the chance to run full force to serve and full force to sell. And you can see just how powerful a question that is. Another cash flow question that I see often, and one that I spoke a little bit about today when I was with those incredible people, is how can I charge my worth? Oh, I love this question. I love this question because it is so powerful to remind us of how much we have been given the advice of charging our worth. And charging our worth is the worst, it's the internet's worst piece of advice by a country mile. You cannot charge your worth, ladies and gents. This is a poor question for many reasons, as well, but I will summarize them quickly here. Number one, you are not on sale. You are not the offer. You are not the object. You are not the service. And therefore, your worth is separate to the offer's worth. So, what you should want to be focused on is the worth of the offer, and more specifically, the value that the transformation that the offer gives to the client. How can I charge my worth? The very short answer is you can't. But the reason why it's such a poor question is because it makes you and your offer one and the same. So when someone says no to your offer, it feels like they're saying no to you. When you're thinking about the pricing for your offer, you're thinking about how you feel about yourself. These are not data points that help you to create sustainably successful factors to create your business. So you do not want to be worrying about charging your worth. Charging your worth is not for people who want to stay in business. Charging your worth is not for people who want to truly understand and make a difference and don't want to get caught up in the roller coaster of your emotions and feelings every time you're out there in trying to create sales. An elevated question is, how can I maximize the value of that transformation to the client, and how can I help them see it? That's how you charge. You charge in line with the value that the transformation gives to the client. So how can I max that value, and how can I get amazing at making sure that they can see that value? If I can make them see it, I can make them want it, and I can help them buy it. But yeah, we're putting, we bring out charge your worth every now and again to show you, so we can fold it up and put it back in the bin. Charging your worth is not a helpful question. And it's interesting because it's another question that I get so often, is how can I raise my prices without losing clients? So we've talked about question number one, which is about how can I sell without selling? Question number two, which is about how can I charge my worth? And this third question of how can I raise my prices without losing clients is one I often hear. I hear it a lot, and I understand why. Because we are so focused on wanting to make sure that we hold on to our clients, that the thought of raising our prices can be very daunting. It can be very scary. And we're worried about having to do so because we're worried about those clients who, maybe can't afford or don't want to pay our offers anymore, not being able to work with us. And therein lies the point, ladies and gents. Because the fact is that this question of how can I raise my prices without losing my clients, the way we get to elevate this question is to understand a few things. So number one is that when you decide to raise your prices, the clients who stay with you are supposed to be there with you. But number two is that because you've raised your prices, you don't need as many clients in order to create the same revenue in your business. There is a price for every customer. And so, should you decide to raise your prices, you are now pointing your offer to a new segment of the market. Now, that means that if you want to continue to serve the existing market segment that you have, then yes, you can create a new offer and a new opportunity for them to access your services and support at that price point. But the truest nature is really to understand that your clients are happy to pay what you ask them to pay. So you can't lose your client by raising your prices, because if you raise your prices and they don't want to pay them, then for that specific offer, they're no longer your client. Maybe you offer something else, or maybe they go somewhere else. And so an elevation of that question is about value. You raise your prices in line with offering powerful value. And so rather than worrying about losing the clients, it's about how can I raise my prices and help my clients to continue to value and celebrate the offer. How can I raise my prices and help my clients to continue to value and celebrate the offer? Again, can you feel the difference in asking that question? That's a question that enables you to think in terms of possibility. That first question has you thinking loss, has you thinking worry, has you thinking lack, and has you in scarcity energy. The second question has you thinking possibility, expansion, opportunity. And that is why that question elevates the opportunity you get to create to answer it. And so, my one powerful truth to remind you of is that the power or the value of the answers that you are getting is directly proportional. It's only ever going to match the quality of the questions you ask. You can't out answer a poor question. The most fabulous answer to a bad question is still a bad answer. That's the truth. That's the truth. And so, my one actionable tip for you today is to take those elevated questions I offered you and to go think about them. How can I raise my prices and help my clients to continue to value and celebrate that offer? How can I continue to better serve my clients while I sell? And how can I help those that I want to sell to really value? How can I max out the value of my offer and help others to see it? They are the three power questions that get to elevate your cash flow results. And so my actionable tip is take those questions, go answer them, and see what new and exciting ideas you come up with. If you've never asked yourself that question before, I'm almost certain that you are going to come up with new answers you've never thought of before. And that for me is so exciting. And so that is everything that I wanted to share with you today, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I will absolutely be circling back and I will be answering questions as we are talking about questions today. And if you ask me a question and I think there's an elevated opportunity to ask a different question, I will absolutely share that. So don't lose this opportunity. And if you like the cut of my jib and want to find out more about my work and the way that I serve my clients, then absolutely feel free to slide into my DMs with the word question so that I know that you came from this video. and I'll be more than happy to speak to you and to tell you a bit more about my work. So, ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining me today. Sharon, Jackie, you've been most active in the chat. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your support here today. Mark, Georgiana, it was great to have you in the room. And ladies and gents, I look forward to seeing you in the spaces. Take care. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you all soon.